Hey, this is Mass X with a brand new Jujutsu Kaisen Fan and Parade video, and we got finally something I wanted to talk about. You probably noticed I haven't done a lot of videos for Jujutsu Kaisen lately. Quite honestly, there hasn't been anything that's excited me too much after the initial push of the hidden inventory characters, but we got a banner now that's actually really good. Not necessarily one that I would go out of my way to say if I was a free-to-play to spend on, but at least use your free tickets. But that, of course, is our brand new Cursed Corpse battle, Yaga. And even the SR that comes with it is really good. And why is that? Well, again, this Yaga is an SSR type, and he's a yellow. He's a support, which you would expect, and his affiliation is Tokyo Jujutsu High Officials. Now, what does the character do, his kit? Well, his skill 1 deals 120% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy, decreases the selected enemy's critical hit resistance by 10%. That's at level 1. At level 10, that will go all the way up to 180% melee taijutsu damage and 15% of the decrease in critical hit resistance for 2 turns. Now his next skill, the Go Tsukimoto, at level 1 deals ranged combined damage equal to 120% taijutsu and 30% jujutsu to the selected enemy, decreases the selected enemy's taijutsu damage by 35% for 1 turn, and at level 10 that goes to 180 taijutsu, 45 jujutsu, and the decrease in the selected enemy's taijutsu damage goes to 52.6%, and that's for 1 turn. Skill 3, your turn, Mokyo Burapan, that at level 1 deals 100% taijutsu damage to the selected enemy, inflicts darkness status on the selected enemy 1 turn, increases the selected enemy's taijutsu damage received by 18.3%, and that's for 3 turns, and it increases the selected enemy's jujutsu damage 18.3% for 3 turns, increases the selected enemy's taijutsu damage received by 10% for 3 turns. You get the point, what he does. So that one at level 10 though, it boosts up to 150 of the taijutsu, the 30% for both the taijutsu and jujutsu damage received at those 3 turns, which is awesome. And it does deal a range combined damage equal to 150.4% taijutsu and 150.4% jujutsu with 2 hits. So yeah, good stuff here across the board. I know I'm going a little quickly, but I don't want to belabor the video. The point is, the character is a nice character, and I've used him quite a bit on my Japanese account and actually like the character and does very well. But as you know, the SR versions, especially of the Yaga, are just great to begin with. So it's not a necessity, but it is a solid character. Now, the ultimate through Discipline Kathy deals range combined damage equal to 600% taijutsu, 180 jujutsu to all enemies. It increases all enemies' taijutsu damage received by 30%. Again, for 4 turns, increases all enemies' jujutsu damage received by 30% for 4 turns. Increases all allies' damage by 18.3% for 4 turns. Excludes himself though. So yeah, very good stuff here. And at level 10, that just goes even better at that point, because you're now getting almost 1200% taijutsu damage and 360% jujutsu to the enemies, but the increases now go to 51.6% on both of them, which just is great. And well, as you get that increase of all allies damage at 30.2%. So yeah, he is just really a solid support character all the way around. And his auto skills are nice too, because at the start of each turn increases all allies taijutsu damage by 46% for 1 turn, increase all allies jujutsu damage by 46% for 1 turn. So definitely not a slouch. Now the sleeper on this one, of course, is Gakuganji. It's an SR character that's introduced in this banner, and this character is also just a really solid character as a debuffer, and of course easier to build because it's an SR. And what does this character do? Well, at its skill 1, Cursed Energy Burst deals 80% jujutsu damage to the selected enemy, decreases the selected enemy's jujutsu damage by 10%. If alternative tuning state is active, changes the skill effect to deal 100% jujutsu damage to the selected enemy and increases the selected enemy's damage received by 10% for 2 turns. Now going on to skill 2, the tuning increases own Jujutsu damage by 10%, activates or deactivates the alternate tuning state, so you want to keep that in mind when you're playing this character. Skill 3, Cursed Energy Beat, deals 120% Jujutsu damage to all enemies and increases all enemies' taijutsu and Jujutsu damage received by 25%, and at level 10 that goes to 37.6%. And then if you got the alternative tuning state active, changes the skill effect to 100% Jujutsu damage to all enemies and inflicts the confusion status on all enemies for 3 turns, chance 30%. And if you have level 10, that chance goes up to 49.4%. Stuns all enemies, 1 turn chance 131.8% at level 10, which really makes this character very useful. And then the ultimate for this character does do 360% Jujutsu damage at level 1, 719 at level 10. Decreases all enemies' damage dealt by 25% at level 1, but 50% at level 10. And of course, if you have that alternate tuning state active, it changes the skill effect to dealing at level 10 959.4% Jujutsu damage to all enemies and decrease all enemies' ultimate count by 1. Just a really solid SR character that is very useful in lots of the content in this game. So that's why I wanted this character is almost the one better to get out of this, especially if you already have the SR version of Yaga. And of course it's an SR, so it's going to be easier to pull. So maybe in your tickets you just get him and you're able to build him from there. So just keep this character in mind quite a bit, because again, it can really help your team out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully some new stuff coming out that really interests me right now. I've just, I don't put content out just to put content out. I only put content out that I would want to talk about or I think somebody should hear. With that, as always, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Have a great day.